This is here. You're all sick. Aaron. I'm calling for Hills meeting for Wednesday, March 5th, 2026. Person interested in affect the action of bills. You're here, I know that per section of 48 the law on well masks and amendments to the a public hearing will be held a say March 5th, 2026. There's an appeal, but here will be held. Participation methods access meeting should be provided in the following will be live channel 18 or definite channel 0 and 2. It also access via government access live stream town schools website https / barnstable.cablecast.tv/internet channel /watch no. Real-time says one of our bills is available utilizing Zoom link, telephone number, and ID. Provided comment can be asked on appeals utilizing this link, telephone number, and ID. Zoom link is https://down_us.zoom.us/9187764. Call 884-754-9 and trading at 811-187-694. Applicant representatives, individuals required title to before zoning appeal may participate accessing the link or tone number provided. Dr. Alexander President should submit to them to at so that they may display remote plexus. The applications are also available for review calling 0862468 or emailing at Barnstable.gov. Alright, I will call the meeting order. Introduction of board members. Herb C. Paul Pennard. Webb. President. Hurwitz. Mal Zavin. Didn't Vintage. Never heard from her.
She had conflict, so she not be attending.
So no meet. No recording meeting of the Board of Representatives recorded on the Barnstable channel according to them chapter 30 action. Us inquire what anyone recording the meeting, if so, to make press known. Seeing none. We had minutes from January 2026. Have anyone so I can approve this is right?
Just play, make a motion to approve the minutes.
Alright, need a second. Roll call vote on approving votes. Open up.
Favor.
In favor. Very hurts.
In favor.
And I vote first, so minutes are approved. First item, old business appeal 2025-038. Speedwell supply variance sewage and 40-24-1.5. Item 4, a sign H district can do place exist 20.66 square foot permanently donated can just one with a new 0.12 square foot internally donated Duncan sign. The area facilities 970.1 square feet, 471 feet of chisel. The exit speed sign 18 square feet, making the pose total for sign 30.12 square feet. So the raised at 1.6 and overhang the asset assess map. 3K to so 5 minutes the high commercial A zone district to sunburst myself from city Aaron with Nappet and many else is conducted from January 14th, 20 and February 26th. It read a question from 30th to April 20th and 20th. I will have Mullen for Nelly correct.
Yes. So I look who attends.
Okay.
Edward will be.
Okay. You just make before we just got someone watch that's being taught up. So I'll motion team 2025-03, April 20 and 26. Roll vote, Bowden, Alpernard, West, Hurwitz, and I'm all in favor. That is continued. Next item of business appeal number 2602 was for test Coca-Cola Real Best Inc. supplier modification of September 24-03 to change the number and occasion of beds since June. Looking processes 1 apartment, 2 apartments, 1 storage. The proposal provided approved 4-bedroom apartment, 1-bedroom apartment, and allowed the reduction of non-conforming unit. Applicant, the subproperty is dated 11 Ave, and is mentioned on a search 308 parcel 150 located resident R building district. Turning to I need to rhyme most of it was realized.
Yes.
Okay. That would be our remembers. Myself, her, Paul, and Brad Rosen, and some present.
Thank you, Chairman of the record. Ms. Patterson, Associate Attorney Office, John UK, with Matt and Carl are both maybe giving us text having some issue with his simply speaking. That's great. If either we have memory of some night that has a while we've been this matter for consideration. I'm going to share screening through presentation, get one to see it in over a month at this point.
Yeah.
David? Does the permission for the trackers to share screen?
While waiting, David, maybe I'll start with summary. Number 22403, granted a little over 2 years ago, this third party allowed conversion of conforming office and middle use to multi-dwelling. The approved project allowed 3 dwelling units on the floor, 2 dwelling units on the second floor. When it came to this past February, we learned there's an issue during the permitting process regarding the 3-unit first floor. Solution proposed at that time was to remove the non-conforming units base, replace that with a 2-bedroom unit. I remember sir was conversations from West and Milton's regard we're playing unformed with a 2-bedroom unit that was improve 1 bedroom from the floor. We did go back to plans. We did submit wise and doing is in Europe when a 1-bed unit in the basement. So purple is just like in the feedback we were from the in February. Here turns a 2-bed in the basement. So, as Dan say, proposal is to simply take 1 room menu from the floor and put into the basement, replacing one of the origins. In effect, 1 origin would remain. So, as opposed to being consideration, there's no net increase in number of bedrooms. It would remain 6. There is no net increase in number of residential dwellings. It would remain at 5. It would be praise of restoring it. They want remain as was name. Since we did this modification of permit, the action of storing it, as 5 permits for section 4A. There is increased traffic, actually no intensive use, doing the non-coming use on it's I see there now, so can stop minimizing. We go through this and are you there?
David?
He can't.
Jake, call me deal. I guess it's a way for him to reappear. Mr. Chen not be to any sort of questions upon the presentation and get visuals so we both pleasing.
Is there any members that request for the applicant? I guess my question is, so can you meet the square foot? I mean, I can store space, joint space or whatever you call it, when you see our heads use declining our debt. So give existing rule feet to proposed capital fee.
Words, this may include as those area. I can pull up plan for you and represent that. The first floor, big single bedroom unit would be 861 square feet. There are no choice at all. Like the floor, if you all the bed sort of kickwords right. Not a increase in gross area because the base already was for Florida ordinance. It would be 167 points square finishes as opposed to the walls of the.
So we again talking density when close floor that's loose. So going from 867 feet of store space is becoming habitable active space.
Speaking let's become fitting space, but is already included the first gross area. 110 where that one bed part is cut out the first floor. So we're not increasing the number of units we're saved.
You're not reading the footage of that space. President, not being stored dormants.
You've based out there getting from source to the bedroom. If you look at just links in the sedan square footage, I guess to say it's the same reduction in this percent. You still have 5 units in a bedroom from a standard track generation. It's for that intensity is the same as the higher approval, and then reduction of the store units actually decrease because you had stores before store units or rent but your particular footage I think is good as far as and that there's additional residential footage that comes from that storage on that goes from the storage unit to residential unit.
Correct. I mean, I'm just back to Annie's arguments times. A storage base gets vid once, twice a week, or which was, I don't know, is less intense than residential has residents going in using more resources, more for something nature. That where I think still last time, so I still things, but Aaron.
David's back. Can we just share what she was looking at? I've got notes, thanks, but I'll be back in my lap. Good?
Either.
Yes.
You Would you allow a triggerman to share his screen, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
He's I think what Mr. ask is that the reaction on the first floor of the one unit coming out and being replaced in the store unit. What's happening to that case?
Everyone's screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Price number 4. Those the projects approved in 24. Those two non-conforming unit base show 3 units on the floor, and it shows 2 units on the second floor. The issues with the floor during the permit process discovered it wasn't possible to have the unit here just have zoning that was approved. So the plan became to allow one use and put the bin as a two unit. So you look, this is a breakdown of what this thinks is what proposed today, or this thing. So 24/3 those restore its floorhead parts, you break a number of rooms of the parts. Second for 2 apartments, you break the grand of apartments, 6 rooms, 2 store units. Receive your duration appeal 26-2, seek modify special permit 24/3 to have a store unit and 1 bedroom apartment basement. Have 2 apartments on the floor, being a bedroom unit, 2-room unit, and then have 2 one-bedroom units second floor, and for a total 5 units, 6 rooms, 1 unit, and then increase 1 unit. To do a comment regarding tentative use, I believe were the last meeting I worked with the replacement of single storage with a 2-bedroom unit. Actually represented productive use as the 1 bedroom was removed from the floor, the 2 bedroom was beaten in the bin. That's how it turned out. But if you look here, the things are by sheet 102, the supply mid-furring, shows this storage here, as in one's location, and the fish space 1 unit. Mr. We would have about what happening with floor of the proposed first floor now, which would have 2 units, 1 bedroom, 1 bedroom, essentially removes 1 bedroom that was previously approved in this location here. The loop, the proposed floor does 2 bedrooms. That means the engine just the last approval. Miss Bassett,
Dude, can you go to the first floor underneath, please?
sir.
Oh, and you kind of so that was the bedroom now we need to incorporate it in the
Record press.
Well, we'd have to compare it to the original, but yes, I think it's a mixture of both. I think the 1 bedroom unit that's going into the basement, that area, if you will, is now being utilized by the 2 bedroom and the 1 bedroom units remaining on the first floor.
So everything got bigger. The
Yeah,
space,
so
the
On the
living space
first
got
floor,
bigger.
right, your
On the
unit,
first floor, yes.
right, because the first floor original approval had 3 units. It's now at 2 units, so those 2 units on that first floor got slightly larger. I think there's
Correct.
actually, though, some more probably common space. I think between the stairwells, entry area, hallways, et cetera. I think that was probably part of the issue on the 3 bedrooms on that first floor, architecturally and building code wise. They were probably having an issue making some of that work. So
you got a little bit more stairwell, hallway, et cetera. And then the two units that are now on the first floor are a little bit larger than they were, but it's still the same, again, still the same number of units and same number of bedrooms. So as far as, I would argue that from an intensity standpoint, the use is exactly the same. I mean, if I have, as far as, people coming and going that live there and visitors, it's still the same amount of units and the same number of bedrooms, regardless if I get a little bit more square footage in, one or two of the units. It still would be the same, generation of, traffic, visitors, trips, et cetera.
See, Mr. Webb has his hand up.
Again, and I hate to go be repetitive here because I just don't remember from the last time we met, but what was the reason that the three units on the first floor was not allowable? Who had the issue and what was the determination?
I, I can try to answer that, Patrick. I'm not sure that there was any necessary issue. It was a process that was going on from when it was originally approved for the 5 units. They started construction in that process, and I'm not sure the exact reasoning, but in that process, it was decided that they were going to just construct the 4 bedrooms, two on the, I'm sorry, 4 units, two on the first floor, two on the second. I was not involved in the discussion with the art between the architect and the owner. I don't know if they were having issues with how it was laying out on the first floor that didn't work for them well. Because again, as right when you're going through site plan review and the plans before you at zoning board, those aren't full necessary construction documents, right? So it's possible when the architect got into it, I think they ended up reworking that first floor and it ended up being 2 units. I'm surmising that it was, they just didn't like how it was working out from code wise, et cetera. And so they ended up just with 2 units in the first floor, and then hence asking for converting that storage unit on the lower basement level to be converted to one of the residential units to make up for that unit that was lost on the first floor.
And so, and again, this property is sewered.
Yes.
And where will the access for that one bedroom in the basement, the sewer run? Will everything have to be pumped up to Potter?
No, all the sewers in the rear.
Dumont
There's
Drive.
no changes site-wise, site plan-wise from the original approval. There's no changes. The sewer is to the rear. They installed at a significant cost to the applicant, a new water main. I think it was a 1 inch service that served that entire building previously that came down Potter as part of that original approval going through site plan. Water department required a new 8 inch. So we put an 8 inch main going down the rear road, which the name is escaping me right now, Dumont. So on Dumont Drive, which is at the rear of the property, there's a new 8 inch water main all the way from Main Street all the way to the end of our frontage. So, a significant benefit to, the town and the surrounding lots and buildings, et cetera. But so all the service connections, utilities, parking, et cetera, none of that changed from the original approval.
But I mean, to put a unit in a basement, is that a sub? Is that a slab?
It's a slab on grade, but it's a walkout. That
But
rear,
again, to put a bathroom facility in that is going to take some manipulation, correct?
well, they probably have to cut the slab, yeah, for
Yeah.
piping.
Okay. Okay.
But
Yeah.
it's all via gravity.
Yeah.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Paul.
Ha- Has this new layout been through site plan review?
Yes, both informal and formal and approved.
Okay, all right, so I don't see an issue here. I mean, I think it's a decrease in intensity, which was the issue before. So let's go.
Okay, does anyone, other board members? I'm still not there yet, but other board members, are you guys good to move forward? If someone we still have to open public comment. Anyone else have any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, would you like me to stop sharing my screen at this
Yeah,
point?
sure, that'd be great.
Thank you.
Any other board members have any questions regarding the application? Just one other question. So is the parking and access going to be from Dumont?
Parking and access was always anticipated from Dumont and Potter.
Sorry.
Previously, we anticipated and represented that the storage unit access would be down Dumont as it has been historically. Now, I think it's even more less intense because you'll have the occupant of that unit also utilizing Dumont rather than Potter because
Yeah,
there's an ingress door fronting on Dumont.
and so there's parking, Jake, at both levels along Potter on the frontage on the upper level. There's 10 parking spaces on the front side for the units on the first and second floor. And then on the lower level on Dumont, there's 4 parking spaces for that residential unit and then the storage.
Matt, I don't know if there's anything you want to speak to
I'm
there.
sorry?
I just pulled up the site plan to demonstrate the parking that was
Yep.
represented at site plan review. So
So were there parking spaces below originally or no? In the original approval, there was
Yes. This area here, Jake, was all paved, currently parking, etc. It's now just been, we've now cleaned it up, if you will, in this site plan based on this change in use. And so it's basically, where the doorways is an overhead doors being removed in the storage unit. And so we've just kind of striped off those areas and we've just better defined the parking spaces. But right now, I mean, it's paving from here to here, all the way across. So there's no paving aspect. It's a striping exercise.
yeah, but I understand that. I'm familiar with the site, but what was proposed before, there was no parking down there. There was just
Yeah, yes, there
access of
was.
parking for the commercial bays.
There was parking down there. There was the same. It was 4 parking spaces before. Again, we just altered the striping locations just because with this new plan before you with the removal of that storage unit. Before there was 2 overhead doors. One of those overhead doors is going away. So we altered the striping location just so it coordinated with where the entrances were. But that initial site plan had 4 parking spaces down below on Dumont.
Okay. Okay. All right, if no one has any questions, I can open for public comment. Is anyone here to speak to this? We did receive, we've got public comment that was received previously, but this is now sort of a new, a re-advertised item. Let me see if I can pull it up here for the load. We had a letter of support from, there was one from Susan Batista that was dated 3/17/26. That's the one we just received. There was another one from Ms. Batista. I'm not sure the date on that one. I believe that was from before.
Yes, hi.
Oh, yep. If you'd like to speak, just name and address for the record.
Yes, hi. My name is Susan Batista, and I own a property at 15 Newton Street, so I abut that property and I can see it from my window. I just wanted to speak in favor of this project. I think it's very thoughtful. It prioritizes efficiency, minimizes disruption, and really avoids unnecessary expansion. It's getting much needed residential use into our neighborhood. It's not expanding the footprint. I know the person who's doing this building. He's a neighbor of mine. He's also someone I've worked with professionally. He's very thoughtful, and I know he will do a beautiful job with this property. So I'm very much looking forward to this adding to the beautiful residential neighborhood there. And I think this is a very thoughtful use of that underutilized property today, and it'll make it a very vibrant residential space in the future. So I'm very much in favor of it. I thought it was a very good presentation, and I appreciate you allowing me to speak in favor of it this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Batista. I think I just want to make sure I reference there were, I think, a total of 3 letters we received from you, just so we know that in the record. There was a letter from Ms. Deary that was dated 2/17/26. And there was a letter from I just loaded that. Off the bottom of it would load. Hristo Kanchev at 24 Potter Ave, expressing concerns particularly about traffic and parking issues in the area. And then lastly, was one more from Ms. Batista that was uploaded in here. So those are letters from public comment. Is there anyone else here that wanted to speak to this? All right, I'll make a motion to close public comment.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on closing public comment. Herb Bodenseek,
In favor.
Paul Pinard,
In favor.
Aaron Webb,
In favor.
Larry Hurwitz,
In favor.
and I'm also in favor. So public comments closed. The public hearing's still open. It's back to the board. Do you guys have any other questions for the applicant or need any more information, or do we want to close the public hearing? Or we
I
need
have
to
one more quick question, real quick, Chairman Dewey, if I could, please.
Yep.
Is there access from Potter Ave into the foyer to the basement unit?
Pat, you'd have to pull up the architecture on that. I don't think they have access from the first floor down to the basement level
So
internal.
their only means of egress is the basement.
is
For
Dumont.
for the lower
Is
basement
Dumont,
level.
is Dumont,
For the lower basement level.
correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Are
Yeah.
there stairs on the exterior to get
There are.
from the lower to the upper? Yeah.
There are. I can show you the architecturals if you like.
I was just, yeah.
Yeah, but there are stairs on the exterior, Jake, yes. Yep, that you can get up to the upper level to the lower level outside.
Okay. I think I got my question answered, but if you want to share, however.
Sure, can't hurt.
So
This would be the elevation fronting on Dumont. There's a discrepancy in the grading. Potter's quite a bit higher than Dumont. So you have second means of egress here for the upper floors and then egress here.
Wasn't the residential unit on the left side and the storage unit was on the right side? Because this is facing from Dumont, right?
This is facing from Dumont, yeah.
So where's the storage unit?
Both overhead doors are being removed as part of the project. This is the egress door to the remaining storage unit.
Oh, okay. I thought it was remaining the same storage use it was existing as a commercial bay. That was how it was presented.
The proposal was to remove the overhead doors for both units, leaving this as a storage unit, making it more residential and making the appearance more residential in neighborhood in keeping with the.
So you think there's a commercial entity that's going to rent that space without an overhead door as a commercial bay? It's not a commercial bay anymore. You're changing the use.
I mean, I wouldn't argue that you're changing the use, Jake. I think if you go to the floor plan, Patrick, I mean, that's what's approved. That's what's going to be approved by the building department for building permit. I hear what you're saying, Jake. I mean, from a marketing standpoint, would it be, would it be better if they had an overhead door? Possibly, but I don't think, it's still a storage use is a storage use. If their access is via a personnel door versus overhead door, I think that's their choice. I mean, that's your storage unit right there, right? That is the access door that they're proposing.
I guess that's just not what was presented. It was presented, it wasn't changing from its existing. That's how it was always discussed. Again, that was a surprise to see the overhead door was gone now.
That's
You guys have always said it was a commercial bay, but so is the intent, what's the intent here?
The intent is to continue to use it as an existing storage unit. Replacing one door with a different door of a different size doesn't change the use. This change is not new from our last meeting in February 11th.
But on the 24 permit, what was presented as the existing use was commercial contractor bay.
Didn't say commercial contractor bay, it said storage unit. We're not proposing anything other than a storage unit this evening.
Okay, I don't think that's how it read on the tape, but that's fine. But again, I still question what the intent is here of this space because you're again changing the parking layout for it from how it's been used. Again, you went with a non-conforming pre-existing use, right? That's what the argument was. But now it seems like it's changing from that pre-existing use. I never saw it permitted as you know residential man-door storage. You guys push contractor bay, but that's I guess that's fine, but I'm still questioning what the intent is here.
The intent is to use it as an existing storage unit.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I think it
that's
was just,
it
I
comes
think,
with parking spaces. The parking spaces outside go with just that, not with the residential units.
I'm
there's
sorry,
parking
Mr.
spaces outside in front of this unit here. That there's two, and then there's two parking spaces in front of this as well.
And so those will be exclusive to the storage unit, the two in front of it, or those are for residential purposes.
They're not needed from a residential purpose from a zoning standpoint, but I don't know that they're necessarily assigning parking spaces. I'm not sure, Patrick, if you know if they're assigning spaces to each unit. I don't know.
I don't know if spaces will be assigned. I don't have that information at the moment. We can pull back up the site plan if you'd like to count the number of spaces, ensure there's sufficient
I'm just
parking.
trying to understand the intent here. So will this be built to code to be a contractor bay that someone could have vehicles and
Well, I don't think,
systems?
Jake, I don't think we ever, I mean, I didn't anyway say contractor bay, it's commercial storage. I never, I'm not sure if the contractor bay was said previously, but I don't think so. It was always commercial storage. It's just a storage unit just to put, stuff. I don't think it was ever a contractor bay. Like, I don't think the anticipation is that you're going to have like a plumbing contractor or something, pulling in there with his van and all his tools and piping and so forth. I think it's just a kind of a dead storage area. I mean, is that Patrick? Is that?
I mean, I think removal of the overhead garage door, frankly, is a good thing for the neighborhood because we're proposing it to be used as storage, almost like a self-storage unit would have a passenger door, not necessarily a full-sized commercial door.
So, can I jump in real quick?
go ahead.
Gentlemen, I certainly see both points of view here. It certainly looks exterior like it's an apartment. No offense, but it looks like the other one bedroom apartment does beside it. I'm talking about the storage unit here. So we can go round and round on the intent. I don't know how we can condition this, Chairman, with to make us feel better that it is being used as a commercial storage unit. I mean, can we request, I don't know, lease agreements or something? I mean, again, to me, certainly I see, Attorney Nickerson, that the use certainly could easily be converted to residential use after the fact.
The easy remedy would be to impose a condition that requires the recipient of the permit to come back before the board for any change of use of the remaining basement as an existing storage unit.
Well, yeah, and that certainly will, I think we would do no matter what, but that still doesn't prevent people from, I don't want to go down the road like that. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, they have to follow the requirements of the permit. I mean, you can't.
I get it. I
Yeah,
understand all that.
And it
but,
would be a tough conversion too, Aaron, just because it's on slab. If you're going to try to then put a kitchen and a bathroom and stuff, you're cutting the slab.
I know. It's just from the exterior, it certainly looks very much like the unit to the right or left, depending how you look at it. So I'm good. I certainly don't see a dramatic increase here. I guess I would kind of, almost prefer it sort of be known as storage for the tenants. But maybe, I mean, if they needed to use it for, should be confined to the use of the building, the people that live there, if they have a kayak, they have a bike, they have, outdoor furniture, something that could be used just for the building itself and not use it as a extra leasable space. But again, I know this is just going round and round, and I can see Paul getting agitated. So.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, I think we're going above and beyond the guardrails of what they're asking for.
It's not what they're asking for, it's what the bylaw gives us permission to grant on these
It
special
is a
permits.
storage.
Again, you can move it. If you want to move it, that's fine.
It's a storage unit. We can't
That's
We
not
can't,
how it's been presented. It was as commercial storage, yet on the plan, it has now changed to be called existing storage, just storage, and we removed the overhead door. So is it commercial? Are we trying to get by building code with not bringing it up to commercial standards? I'm not sure.
Patrick, what's changed here with respect to the definition of this unit?
Nothing. From my memory, these two units were presented as non-conforming storage units in the 2024 decision. The non-conforming storage units may remain, was what
Okay,
allowed in
so
2024.
it's still a storage unit. The storage unit can't be defined is not defined by the door as far as I know in the code. So it's a storage unit. Let's go. Come on.
Okay, then you can move it. Then you go for it,
All
Paul.
right,
I'll pass it
I
over to
move.
you.
Yeah, well, I can't suppose what it might be used for. We have an
But
attorney
again,
here.
the applicant leaned on the part we were going from a more impactful non-conforming use to a less. And so they leaned hard on it as commercial, that it was commercial space. But now we're saying, oh, it's just dormant storage space that we're now creating residential. I'm just saying,
I,
listening
I,
to our neighbors, I'm listening
I,
to everyone that said
I
something about
just heard the attorney say that it was never defined as a commercial storage unit. It was
Watch the tape
defined
from
as a storage
24.
unit.
Did you watch the tape from 24?
We're not in book 24. We're here
We're
now.
modifying 24, Paul. But again, you move it. I will hand it over to you to run with this.
Whether it's defined as commercial or storage unit is irrelevant with respect to the door. I don't know that in terms of a code definition of a commercial storage unit or a storage unit is defined by the door. I don't know that we have a basis for saying that it's not what he says it is. That's all I'm saying. I take the participant, the petitioner, and his representative as truthful and saying it is what it is and it always was. And so I submit that it is, in fact, a decrease in the intensity, which was the initial problem here. And whether they change the door or not is beyond our purview. They don't have to have a door if they don't want to, I guess. They could go through the window. So I'm suggesting, I vote that we move forward with this.
I don't disagree with Paul either, except I don't see a diminished use personally. Having somebody living there 24/7 versus a storage unit. So, but again, this is just semantics to this point. I'm certainly curious. That a special permit like this, we would have this type of, most often we're pretty unanimous that these special permits look good. So, what about Herb and Larry? Anybody else want to jump in here to just maybe help clear this, muddle all this up?
I'll jump in. You're bringing up very interesting points. I can't really see these plans, but it almost looks like there's closets. It's the unshaded unit that is the storage unit, correct?
That's correct. I can bring it back up.
Yeah. Oh, no, not necessary. Please don't. But it's almost like I see closets, but one of them looks like there's a door to the exterior. So
what that is, Herb, is the on the plan that he had up, it's the right-hand side is a storage unit. In that far right-hand corner, that's the sprinkler room. So that's a separate room that has an exterior door for the fire department. And again, that's another improvement to this project. There was currently no fire sprinkler to this building. There is now a fire sprinkler within this building, and that's what you're seeing in that little room.
Very good. Yeah, I think the conversation's getting a little tired, but I mean, couldn't we just call it non-residential? Do we have to even was it commercial before? So I'm really I don't really have any big concerns here. It's storage, period, right? Larry, anything?
I see that's storage for the tenants. Like Aaron said, I mean, they're going to have bicycles or things like that, and you can't have them in your apartment. And most places do have tenant storage, so that's the way I see it.
Attorney Nicholson, would the applicant be opposed to us limiting the use of the storage to the tenants themselves? I mean, certainly that's not going to be a revenue stream for him at this point, or her, excuse me, but
Well, wait a minute. This is Paul, Mr. Chairman. Of course, it's a revenue stream. It's a storage unit. You could rent that out as a storage unit.
I understand, Paul. I just said it. I understand it's not going to be a revenue stream any longer if we condition it for storage for the tenants.
I don't think we have a basis for making that condition.
Mr.
Well,
Webb,
we are
Mr.
we are modifying a permit for the applicant. You know, that is
Why would
that
we take
is.
why would we take revenue away from the owner?
I'm not looking to take revenue away. I'm simply asking a question, I guess. But forgive me, I won't.
And we're looking at the intensity of the use and we're looking at the traffic. The traffic will change on Dumont from being 2 storage units, or it's been argued commercial storage, to residential. So again, we have to check
Full-time
that
resident.
box.
Yeah, I agree. I certainly see the intensity amplifying on Dumont with a full year-round tenant being there, 24/7.
Mr. Webb,
versus
Mr. Bernard, and Mr. Dewey, my client indicates he has no problem with limiting the storage unit to be used by the tenants of the building. That's acceptable. It would be an acceptable condition to him to alleviate concerns about the traffic, as you mentioned.
Okay.
Does Chairman Dewey, does that do anything to sort of soften the blow here?
I mean, I think
is
it
that-
off. I mean, it again because 24094A, what is it? 2B, we have to say that we're not generating any more traffic than the previous use. And the applicant has really leaned on this dormant storage use initially. And now they're saying that they're just sort of dormant storage things that didn't have anything, which then says, okay, then there's no traffic from them, and we are going to having traffic on Dumont. There would have been no traffic on Dumont before generated, basically, by these sort of dormant storage things. That's where that's sort of I'm stuck.
We had 2 storage units on Dumont. How can you say
Yes.
there's no more traffic generated?
I'm saying the applicant leaned on that, saying that there were 2 storage units on Dumont that were very dormant and didn't cause anything. And now we're going backwards and we're saying, okay, now actually, in this modification, we want to turn them into residential there, which will have more traffic than 2 dormant storage units. That's again, I'm just looking at 24094A, which is what we're trying to, approve this on. But I think we can
with the
argue that this
condition
is an
that was just
offset.
offered by Attorney Nickerson, condition
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I
storage
think
unit to
that's
be
an
storage
offset for it.
incidental to the residential units, and that's a decreased intensity to the site. I mean, you can argue you got 2 streets that it's fronting on, but it's definitely a decrease in intensity to the site.
Yeah.
If you
No, I
now
think
you got 5 units and you have no commercial storage, you got storage that's incidental to the residential units.
Yeah, I think limiting it to people on site means there isn't going to be any additional traffic from that unit, that
Correct.
storage space. It's going to be
just making
people
that
on site.
condition. Yeah.
Well, then let's go.
Okay, Paul, go ahead. I'm passing it over to you.
Yeah, no, I make a motion to approve it.
You need to close the public hearing.
Well, close it then. You're the chairman.
Paul has made a motion to close the public hearing. Does he have a second?
Second.
All right, roll call vote on closing the public hearing. We cannot have any more testimony after this. Herb Bodenseek,
I'm in favor.
Paul Pinard,
In favor.
Aaron Webb,
In favor.
Larry Hurwitz,
I'm in favor.
and I'm also in favor. Does someone want to make findings? Anyone? Paul, you are moving this, so I would nominate you to make findings.
Okay. A question, Mr. Chairman. There's 2. Are these together, or are we? That's 002 and 003. Are they together or are they separate?
If I believe Attorney Nickerson, correct me if I'm wrong, but if we approve the modification of the existing, you wouldn't need a new special permit, correct?
Correct. I'd ask you to approve 26002. I would then withdraw 26003, assuming 002 is approved.
Okay. Then the other question I have, Mr. Chairman, is, so the conditions of 002 would be modified. correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we would have to, I mean, it was a full build out, so we'd be, allowing this to now be a full build out of the lot without prior
Well,
approval.
well, no, we would condition the storage space to internal use only.
Correct. Yeah, we would add probably a fifth condition, I think would be the cleanest way to do that.
Okay, so we'll go forward with my findings with respect to appeal number 2026-002, Coca Cabana Realty Investment, Inc. Coca Cabana Realty Investment, Inc. has applied for modification of special permit number 2024-003 to change the number and location of bedrooms and storage units. The applicant proposes 3 one-bedroom apartments, 2 two-bedroom apartments, and 1 storage unit. The prior special permit approved 4 one-bedroom apartments, 1 two-bedroom apartment, and allowed the retention of the 2 non-conforming storage units. The subject property is located at 11 Potter Avenue, Hyannis, Mass, as shown on Assessors Map 308, as parcel 150 is located in the residential B zoning districts. My finding is that the application falls within the category specifically accepted in the ordinance for a grant of a special permit. I find that section 240-94A allows for a non-conforming use to change to another non-conforming use. Secondly, after an evaluation of all the evidence presented, I find the proposal fulfills the spirit and intent of the zoning ordinance and would not represent a substantial detriment to the public good or the neighborhood affected. Note that the traffic on Potter Avenue might be decreased and the traffic on the other avenue might be increased. The site plan I find the site plan has been reviewed and found approvable with conditions. The site plan review has issued letter of approval on January 16th, 2006. Mr. Chairman, those are my findings, and I do have conditions.
All right, I just want to add that 240-94A, also we need to find that the applicants received all necessary approvals from the Board of Health, which I believe they have it. I don't know if we fully covered that. The proposed non-conforming use requires no more parking than the previous use, does not generate more traffic than the previous use, as Paul mentioned, but we're going to condition on the storage space to hopefully offset parking on Dumont. Does not result in an increase of on-site or off-site noise, dust, or odors. Hopefully, without the bays, there's less commercial activity there. It does not result in an increase in hours of operation or in the number of tenants or employees. With that in mind, I just don't know if we need to limit that the number of tenants stays the same as it was before. It's the number of units, but we don't have good occupancy standards in the town, but does not expand the gross floor area of the non-conforming use except as may be provided in 240-93B, nor does it increase the number of non-conforming uses on the site. Again, we're in a little bit of gray area there, but is on the same lot as occupied by non-conforming use as the date it became non-conforming and is not expanded beyond the zoning district in existence on the date it became non-conforming. I just want that.
Well, but those are conditions, right, Mr. Chairman?
No, those are the requirements for us to grant the special permit that we found all of those approvable.
Okay.
So as long as everyone is on board that we have found that all of those conditions with the change is acceptable. That's all. So Paul has made findings. Does he have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call vote on the findings. Herb Bodenseek.
In favor.
Paul Pinard.
In favor.
Aaron Webb.
I'm in favor.
Larry Hurwitz.
In favor.
And I am in favor. Paul, conditions?
Yes, I have 5 conditions, 1 through 4 as stipulated on the staff report dated January 28th, 2026. The 5th condition would be that the remaining storage unit be only available to tenants in the apartment. Apartments rented above.
And I would say just add and remain unfinished storage space without coming back to the board for further approvals.
Okay.
Are all those
Patrick, Attorney Nickerson, are you okay with that?
Mr. Bernard, thank you. Just two comments. With respect to condition 5, I'd ask that the remaining storage unit be only available to tenants and owner of the tenants of the apartment and owner of the property, in case the owner needs to access for repairs or maintenance or whatever lawful reason the owner might want to access that area. And then for condition number 1, the second sentence should read, the applicant proposes 4 one-bedroom apartments, 1 two-bedroom apartment, and 1 storage unit.
Right. Yep. You're correct. Yep. Okay.
Other than that, those are my comments, but those conditions as amended are acceptable to my client as he indicated to me. Thank you.
So, Mr. Chairman, those would be as correct as corrected as number 1 was corrected by Patrick Nickerson, Attorney Nickerson. Those are my conditions.
Okay, yeah. So just to confirm, so on number 1, it would remove the 2 non-conforming storage units to 1. That was the biggest change there, right?
No, it's also the number of bedrooms, Mr. Dewey.
Yeah, the number of
Oh,
bedrooms
okay.
would change.
Okay.
So the second sentence should read, the applicant proposes 4 one-bedroom apartments, 1 two-bedroom apartment, and 1 storage unit.
Okay.
Then condition 5 takes care of the conditional use of that storage unit. So I think you're covered there.
Okay.
Anna, Anna, did you get that?
I did, thank you.
Okay. Those are my conditions, Mr. Chairman.
All right, vote on the conditions. Herb Bodenseek,
I'm in favor.
Paul Pinard,
In favor.
Aaron Webb,
I'm in favor.
Larry Hurwitz,
In favor.
and I am also in favor. Attorney Nickerson, your modification of special permit is all set. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd move to withdraw special permit application 2026-003.
Yep. All right. Appeal
Thank
number
you all. Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you. Appeal number 2026-003, Coca Cabana Realty Investment, Inc. has applied for a special permit pursuant to section 240-94A, change of non-conforming use to another non-conforming use. The applicant seeks to convert a legal pre-existing non-conforming rental storage unit located within a multifamily building, see special permit number 2024-003, into a 2-bedroom apartment. The proposed apartment would be non-conforming because it would be a residential dwelling within a multifamily building. The subject property is located 11 Potter Ave, Hyannis, Mass, as shown on Assessor's Map 308 as parcel 150. It's located in the Residence BRB zoning district. We have a request from Attorney Nickerson in person to withdraw the appeal. I'll make a motion to withdraw without prejudice appeal number 2026-003. Do I have a second?
Second.
Paul, second.
Roll call vote on the withdrawal. Herb Bodenseek,
In favor.
Paul Pinard,
In favor.
Aaron Webb,
In favor.
Larry Hurwitz,
I'm in favor.
and I'm also in favor. So that is withdrawn. All right, new business. Appeal number 2026-004. Jack and Betty Ann Schneider have applied for a special permit pursuant to section 240-131 for D number 2, change, expansion, or alteration of uses and structures. The applicants seek to increase the height of the dwelling from 16.6 feet to 23 feet. The subject property is located at 127 Short Beach Road, Centerville, Mass, as shown in Assessor's Map 206 is parcel 046. It's located in the Craigville Beach District, CBD, in the Long Beach, Short Beach, LBSB Neighborhood Overlay Zoning District. This was continued from March 11th, 2026, and sitting on this will be all of our members present.
Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
Yeah, before we go forward, I want the applicant to know that I live on Short Beach Road also.
Okay.
I'm able to make a decision on this, open-minded.
Attorney Schultz, are you comfortable with Larry sitting on this, or would you prefer not?
I'm fine having Larry sit on it.
Okay. All right, Attorney Schultz, over to you.
Good evening, Chair Dewey and members of the board. For the record, Attorney Michael Schultz on behalf of the applicants, Jack and Betty Schneider. who are seeking a special permit to change, expand, or alter a structure under 240-131.4D2. The property, 127 Short Beach Road, is located in the village of Centerville and is comprised of approximately 5,938 square feet and is situated within the DCPC, Craigville Beach District, Long Beach, Short Beach neighborhood. The property is improved with a single-family dwelling that was constructed in 1960 according to town assessing records, and I would submit to the board is consistent with the rest of the neighborhood in terms of size and setbacks on the lot. The applicant did receive approval from the Conservation Commission on March 3rd, 2026. As shown in the site plan, and Anna, if you're able to pull up John O'Day's plan, that would be super, just to show the board as I walk through it. In elevations prepared by Archiplicity, the applicants are proposing to demolish the existing dwelling and to rebuild a smaller single-family dwelling on the property. In connection with this request and the demolition and the rebuilding, we did meet with Town Planner James Kupfer and Building Commissioner Brian Florence. The applicants will be reducing the gross floor area from 1,137 square feet to 1,135 square feet, which is reducing the building coverage, or that's a gross floor area. We're also reducing the building coverage from 1,178 square feet to 1,065, where the ordinance allows 1,556 square feet. We're reducing the lot coverage from 1,244 square feet to 1,243 square feet, where the ordinance allows 2,969. And we're improving the setbacks, the front from 14.1 feet to 15.5 feet, and on the west from 15.9 feet to 16.1. I did append a summary table that's included in my letter to the board dated March 9th that does detail all of the information. Although the applicants, they can satisfy the requirements of the demolition and rebuild under the 131.4G and F, the increase in the height of 6.4 feet is a material change requiring relief from the board. With respect to the findings, for a special permit, the applicant would respectfully submit the following evidence would satisfy those. For the issuance of a special permit, one, that it is not substantially more detrimental to the environment, community, and or historic character of the neighborhood than the existing building or the structure. And I would submit to the board that the proposed dwelling is a significant improvement to the environment, the community, and or character of the neighborhood, as we're improving the setbacks, reducing gross floor area, reducing building coverage, reducing lot coverage. We're protecting human life and property from the hazards of flooding as we're bringing it out of the flood zone. And we have approval from the Conservation Commission, as well as the designs by Archiplicity. I would submit are an aesthetic improvement to the neighborhood. Secondarily, number two, it's consistent with 240-131.1 purposes and intent, and is consistent with the performance standards of the neighborhood district where the development is located in accordance with 240-131.7, the neighborhood overlay regulations. I would submit that the proposal complies with 240-131.1 and that, among other things, it contributes to the character and the historic development of the area with the significant aesthetic improvements. It protects and improves the natural resources by reducing both lot and building coverages, as well as the approval with the Conservation Commission. Three, it does not entail a increase in gross floor area or footprint for voluntary demolition of a single-family dwelling. As previously stated, we're reducing the gross floor area and the footprint of the building. Number four, we do not exceed 25% of the gross floor area of the structures in existence as of July 1, 1989, and do not exceed 10% of the GFA of structures in existence as of November 6 of 2009. As previously submitted, the proposal reflects both a reduction in the gross floor area of what existed in 1989 and 2009, so we're not increasing. Fifth, do not increase the lot coverage over what was allowed under 240 131.6. I would submit the proposal reflects a reduction in lot coverage from what was existing. We're going from 1,244 square feet to 1,243, and is well below what's allowed of the 2,969 square feet. Number 6, we don't increase the flood hazards in the neighborhood. We're reducing any flood hazard by bringing the lowest structural member 2 feet above base flood elevation as required by law. Number 7, maintaining or enhancing views to Nantucket Sound and or the Centerville River as applicable in accordance with section 131.5 note 4. But that's not applicable. We're not located on the Centerville River or Nantucket Sound. And number 8, finally, we're not in a V zone. Sorry for the verbose walking through all of those 8 conditions, but would respectfully request that the board grant the special permit. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I believe Jenny Drain from Archiplicity is here, the architect, and I believe John O'Day, Sullivan Engineering. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Schultz. The only one that I get hung up in the DCPC is number 7 there. It doesn't say on, it says to Nantucket Sound or the Centerville River. So I just want to make sure we justify that it is either maintaining or enhancing views. A little concerned when we're increasing. Again, I don't live in the area to know whose views it might affect, but we're increasing height by, I think, was it 16 feet? No, not that. Is it that much? 16 to 23 feet. So I guess I just would ask for that. I don't know if there's any elevations that show a before and an after of what the, view corridor might look like.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, this is Paul. I agree with you. I have the same questions with respect to what the view sites are.
Mr. Chairman, I believe I can address those questions.
Attorney Schultz, would you like Larry to address that?
Sure, happy to. And I'm happy to chime in after Mr. Larry.
I mean, there's probably 4 or 5 houses around this that have already been elevated. So as far as blocking the views to Nantucket Sound, that will not be a problem. What I do disagree with was your description of the views and location on the Centerville River. I mean, he's directly across the street from the river. I don't feel he's blocking any view, but I would classify that as being on the river, not away from the river.
Okay. Again, I'm just referring to the bylaw that reads maintain or enhance views to Nantucket Sound and or Centerville River where applicable. I just want to make sure that we're just checking that box is what I'm sort of trying to do.
Yeah, I believe that that's correct. It maintains the views of the river and Nantucket Sound.
Correct. And I would agree with that. I think that the purpose and intent of what we're talking about is we're maintaining public views. We're not maintaining a private views from someone else. It's public views from the way, maintaining that history and the feel of what it looks like.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I don't know that the views are defined as public or private. I think views in the code are views. And so what I was looking for was a diagram or a plot plan that shows where the bodies of water are with respect to this plot, and I didn't find it in the material.
If I can address that, Paul.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because we're across the street, so when we're providing something to the board, are you suggesting that we should provide view corridors of our view to the river?
I mean, again, we're trying to interpret how the bylaw reads. Maintain or enhance views. Does this project maintain or enhance views to Nantucket Sound or Centerville River? Or does it doesn't say for the public, for the neighbor, doesn't specify. So again, we're just trying to interpret that and make sure we check that box.
Michael, would you like me to pull the site plan back up on my end? It might be a little easier to see.
Sure, happy to.
Nope, can't do it.
Maybe David?
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay, thank you.
I just have a comment while we're waiting, which is that
All right,
both,
he's
I
all
mean,
set.
oh, sorry. I'll wait.
It should pop up here momentarily. I think I just need to zoom out a little bit. So if you're familiar with Short Beach, we're in the kind of interior island of it. So Centerville River is actually, if this is Short Beach Road, then there's houses along over here and houses along over here. There's a little town way, maybe steps to water that come right around the corner. Um, so in terms of views to the sound or the river, I guess would be the closest. Um, I think that those houses on the other side of the street are blocking that view before anything else. But I'd also suggest that you can see the existing house footprint is ghosted underneath this proposed, and where, although we're turning the angle a few degrees, we're really pretty well working with in the existing footprint of houses. So I don't see how that could be impacting anyone's views. And we have notified butters in addition to this for conservation and health, and haven't had any comments at those levels either.
Okay. So Attorney Schultz, the view corridor horizontally, or whatever, vertically rather, next to the building is staying the same or actually getting potentially a little bit bigger, but the height, whatever corridor is getting, height is being restricted a little bit more, correct?
That's correct, but I believe the view corridors interpreted it's on the side of the lots. It's not over the middle of the lot.
Yeah, because note 4 says in the Long Beach, Short Beach neighborhood to preserve and enhance views of Centerville Beach and Centerville River, a view corridor shall be preserved using 20 feet of either side setback, or where side yard setbacks are less than 20 feet, the greater of either side yard existing as of 2009. We're not encroaching on that, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then I don't think there was a landscape plan, but there's no plan to plant within that zone either. Because again, note 4 references that that it has to maintain like low level growth planting and stuff or existing vegetation.
That's correct. We don't have a landscape plan, but we would abide by the regulation.
Okay. Okay, so I sort of took the start on that. Does anyone else have any questions for the applicant? Sorry, I didn't let anyone chime in. No. All right, seeing none, I'll open for public comment. Is there anyone here that wanted to speak to this? We did not receive anything by mail that I know of. Anna, was there anything else that might have come in later?
No, there wasn't anything that came in.
Okay. No one here to speak to this? If you are, just unmute yourself and speak up with name. Okay. I will make a motion to close public comment.
Second.
Roll call vote closing public comment. Herb Bodenseek.
I'm in favor.
Paul Pinard.
In favor.
Aaron Webb.
In favor.
Larry Hurwitz.
I'm in favor.
And I am also in favor. So public comments closed. Does anyone else have any other questions or comments for the applicant before we close the public hearing? No? All right, seeing none, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second, Paul.
Roll call vote, closing the public hearing. No more testimony after the hearing's closed. Herb Bodenseek.
Favor.
Paul Pinard.
In favor.
Aaron Webb.
In favor.
Larry Hurwitz.
In favor.
And I'm also in favor. Does someone want to make findings? Herb, Aaron, Larry?
Larry, go ahead.
Come on, Larry, you got this.
All right. In regards to appeal number 2026-004, Jack and Betty Schneider have applied for a special permit pursuant to section 240-131 4D to change, expansion, or alteration of uses and structures. The applicant seeks to increase the height of the dwelling unit from 16.6 feet to 23 feet. The subject property is located at 127 Short Beach Road, Centerville, Mass., as shown on Assessors Map 206 as parcel 046. It is located in the Craigville Beach District in Long Beach, Short Beach, LBSB Neighborhood Overlay Zoning District. This is continued from March 11th. My findings regarding appeal number 2026-004. The application falls within a category specifically accepted in the ordinance for a grant of a special permit. Section 240-125 and Section 240-131.4D, subsection 2, allows for a special permit. After an evaluation of all the evidence presented, the proposal fulfills the spirit and intent of the zoning ordinance and will not represent a substantial detriment to the public good or the neighborhood affected. The neighborhood affected already has homes that are elevated, and this would not be detrimental to the neighborhood. The single-family nature of the property and of the accessory nature of detached structure are preserved. Here goes the DCPC. Under DCPC, Section 240-131.4D2, by special permit, the alteration or expansion of an existing conforming or non-conforming lawfully established building or structure in lawful existence at the time of adoption of Section 240-131 through 240-131.8 that does not qualify under the as-of-right provisions shall be permitted only by a special permit from the SPGA. In granting such a special permit, the SPGA, Special Permit Granting Authority, shall find that the proposed alterations and/or expansion, one, are not substantially more detrimental to the environment, community, and/or historic character of the neighborhood than the existing building or structure. Two, comply with Section 240-131.1 purposes and intent and with the performance standards and guidelines for the neighborhood overlay area in which the development is located, in accordance with Section 240-131.7 Neighborhood Overlay District Regulations, with the exception of the dimensional requirements of 240-131.7D, subsection 1. 3. Does not entail an increase in gross floor area or footprint for the voluntary demolition of a single-family residence. 4. Does not exceed 25% of the gross floor area structures in existence as of July 1, 1999, 89, do not exceed 10% of the gross floor area of structures in existence as of November 6, 2009. And I believe the attorney also said that it's going to be a reduction in gross floor area. 5. Do not increase lot coverage over what is allowed under Section 240-131.6 coverage limitations, or by more than 10% over what was existing on November 6, 2009, whichever is greater. Do not increase flood hazards in the neighborhood. In fact, it's going to decrease flood hazards. 7. Maintain or enhance views to Nantucket Sound and/or the Centerville River where applicable in accordance with Section 240-131.5 Note 4. In V zones, do not increase south-facing building surfaces so as to limit the adverse effect of increasing elevation or velocity of floodwaters due to a change in flow characteristics of the subject site, adjacent properties, or any public or private way. E. Special permit for dimensional relief. The SPGA may provide relief from minimum yard setbacks when such relief ensures that the proposed development, 1, is consistent with Section 240-131.1 purposes and intent. 2, is consistent with the performance standards for the neighborhood district where the development is located in accordance with Section 240-131.7 Neighborhood Overlay Regulations. And 3, the applicant demonstrates undue hardship without desired relief.
Larry, I feel guilty having nominated you. I can take over from here, or you can continue. Your choice.
You can take over if you want. It's getting a little bit difficult here.
Yeah, okay.
You're doing great, though.
Oh yeah,
you are. Yeah. Okay. I'll continue.
Drink of water. You're good.
Yeah.
This is Paul Bernard with respect to appeal number 2026-004. 240 my findings are the 240-131.7E Long Beach Short Beach neighborhood. Permitted principal uses. The following principal uses are permitted in the Long Beach Short Beach neighborhood overlay area, subject to the performance standards listed below. A, single-family residence. 2, permitted accessory uses. Customary and incidental uses and structures are permitted in the Long Beach Short Beach neighborhood overlay area, subject to the use limitations and performance standards listed in Section 240-131-7D. 3, neighborhood performance standards. All development and redevelopment shall meet the following standards. A, no development or redevelopment shall be permitted within V zones, except that existing structures may be changed or altered, provided that there are no increases in gross floor area, footprint, or intensity of use, including but not limited to increases in wastewater flow and impervious area within the V zone. This provision should not be construed to include daily permitted docks and piers. B, new septic systems shall be prohibited in V zones except to upgrade existing failed systems where such systems pose a demonstrated threat to public health, water quality, or natural resources. C, any activity or development in a V zone that creates an adverse effect by increased elevation or velocity of floodwaters due to a change in drainage or flow characteristics of the subject site, adjacent properties, or any public or private way is prohibited. Any proposed activity that shall not result in flood damage due to filling which causes lateral displacement of flood waters that, in the judgment of the SPGA, would otherwise be confined to said area. The burden of proof for this standard rests with the applicant and shall require certification from a professional engineer. D, open foundations shall be designed to accommodate only height required to elevate the lowest structure member 2 feet above the BFE and V zones, 1 foot above BFE and A zones. For all new construction and substantial improvements within the V zone, the space below the lowest floor must either be free of obstruction or constructed with non-supporting breakaway walls, open wood lattice, or insect screening intended to collapse under wind and water loads without causing collapse, displacement, or other structural damage to the elevated portion of the building supporting system. I'd like to note here that the new construction would be 2 feet above the BFE in the zones. Those are my findings.
Thank you, team, for getting that one done. That was a long one. All right, I need a second on the findings.
I'll second.
And a roll call vote. Herb Bodenseek.
I'm in favor.
Paul Pinard.
In favor.
Aaron Webb. Aaron, you still with us?
He's got
Aaron,
his.
you asleep? Larry Hurwitz.
I'm in favor.
And I'm in favor. Oh, now Aaron's gone, I think. Oh, no, he's back. Aaron, are you there? Oh, I think we lost Aaron. But we have 4 affirmative votes. So then conditions, Paul, are back to Larry on our staff report dated February 27th.
Okay. Attorney Schultz, have you read conditions 1 through 5? And do you have any problems with 1 through 5?
I have read them and I am fine with conditions 1 through 5. Thank you.
All right. Larry's proposed conditions from the staff report dated February 27, 2026. Do I have a second?
Yes, Paul. Second.
Roll call vote. Herb Bodenseek.
In favor.
Paul Pinard.
In favor.
Aaron Webb.
I'm in favor.
And Larry Hurwitz.
I'm in favor.
And I'm also in favor. So Attorney Schultz, you have your special permit.
All right. Well, thank you all tonight for the team effort. And I know we all cringe sometimes when we see the DCPC. So thank you.
Just trying to always interpret all those things that they put in there back in the day. All right. Moving on to appeal number 2026-005, Lana and Edward Lukatsky have applied for a special permit pursuant to section 240-291-H 3, develop lot protection, demolition, and rebuilding on non-conforming lots. The applicants propose to demolish the existing 1.5-story single-family dwelling and replace it with a 2.5-story, two-bedroom dwelling on a smaller footprint. The existing and proposed dwellings do not meet the front yard setback requirement, which is 30 feet, but the proposed front yard setback will remain at the existing 17.1 feet. The subject property is located at 129 Hayes Road, Centerville, Mass. As shown on Assessor's Map 210 as parcel 095. It's located in the Residence D1, RD1 zoning district and the Resource Protection Overlay District, the RPOD. This again was continued from March 11, 2026. Sitting on this would be our regular members, all of our members present, and Attorney Revere. I will pass it over to you.
Thank you, Chairman Dewey. Paul Revere, here on behalf of Lana and Edward Lukaski. I also have Kevin Remillard of National Design and Drafting, who developed the plan for the property, and your favorite John O'Day of Sullivan Engineering. I'm going to try to go through this, and if we need to pull up plans and the like, because I think this is fairly straightforward. This property is 129 Hayes Road, Centerville, Mass. It's a private way that is essentially a peninsula that goes out into Lake Wequaquet. This is a demo rebuild under 24091H3. Basically, we have a situation where you can do a by right demo rebuild if you meet all of the setbacks, lot coverage, floor area ratio, and height requirements. However, this property, it meets floor area ratio, height, lot coverage, and it meets all the setbacks in all directions except for the front yard setback. You're allowed to grant a special permit if the setbacks of the proposal are equal or greater than the existing. And if you recall from the site plan, the existing house is 7.1 feet from the layout of the road. And I think it's important to know, if you look at the plan, that the layout is far closer to the house than any asphalt. And it's basically a single lane road down here because it's only two other houses farther down the peninsula. The last thing that's required, which we meet all these lot coverage, floor area ratio, height, and we're maintaining the existing setback, is to issue a special permit. You need to conclude that the new dwelling would not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing dwelling. And isn't that so sweet compared to listening to the DCPC? What you had to find is just one little thing here. Okay, the existing dwelling is a 1.5-story, two-bedroom, 1367 square foot house, 2148 gross area. The proposed dwelling is 2.5 stories. It is two-bedroom, which I'll get back to in a second, and has a gross area of 3740. As I said before, that meets the floor area ratio for this property. As I said, it meets all setbacks. The only thing that is really sort of different than the existing footprint is the front of the house previously has an indentation between the house and the garage, and the proposed plan fills in that indentation. The Lukatskys have obtained Conservation Commission approval, and as you can see from the site plan, there really is no room to even move the house farther back from the street. As you note, it is a two-bedroom home. And you're all saying, well, why is it a two-bedroom home? The answer is very simple. Lukatskys bought the property in 2021. This is in one of the first areas to be connected to the sewer. About a year ago, the the septic failed at the property. They obtained a variance to be able to put in a tight tank. That is because it is a seasonal home for the Lukatskys. They only use it in the summer, and the sewer is this will be one of the first areas sewered in Centerville. At that point, it will probably become some changes will be made to the property to make this larger area into bedrooms. But it's basically it's the Lukaski's summer family home. When we talk about impact on the neighborhood, as I said, it's on a peninsula. There's no one across the street from the Lukaskis. There's water on the other side of the street. There's neighbors on two sides, but they're significantly far away. And there's the other side, non-street side, is Lake Wequacket. I think I said the Conservation Commission has approved of it. I think this is fairly straightforward. As I said in my submission, is it substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing dwelling? In some ways, I think it's kind of self-evident. A single-family home replacing a single-family home. There really isn't the sort of, four-sided, surrounded by homes neighborhood. There are only homes on two sides, and they're a significant distance away. And as I say, the property meets all the setback requirements except for the front yard. And if there really isn't any way to make it meet the front yard, given the shape of the lot. And I think it's fairly straightforward to find it not more detrimental to the neighbor than the existing dwelling. I do note that if you'd like to see the plans, we can pull them up. They were submitted with the application. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Attorney Revere. I'm okay. I have them up on my screen myself, so I don't need to see them. But if other board members want to see them, I'm sure we can get them on the screen. My only question, just do we have existing ridge height and proposed ridge height? I'd just like to put that into the record of, where our existing height is and where we're going on the new dwelling.
I would turn that to Mr. Remillard. Kevin, do you have the existing ridge height? I did submit pictures of the building.
Yeah.
Good evening. I do not have the existing ridge height. I'm happy to. I don't have it offhand.
Kevin, could you identify yourself, please?
I'm Kevin Remillard. I'm the designer on the project.
But just so Kevin, but the height of the new build, it's just under 35 feet to the top of the roof, not to the highest plate, correct?
That's right.
Okay. Any other board members have questions for the applicant? No? All right. We can open for public comment. I don't think there was anything in the file. Anna, did we receive anything?
No, we did not.
All right. And is there anyone here to speak to this? I see iPhone 17. I don't know if you were here to speak to this. Just unmute yourself and identify yourself. Nope. Okay. I will make a motion to close public comment.
Second.
Larry, second. Roll call vote in closing public comment. Herb Bodenseek.
In favor.
Paul Pinard.
In favor.
Aaron Webb.
In favor.
Larry Hurwitz.
In favor.
And I'm also in favor. Brings back the board for deliberation. I think it's pretty straightforward. It obviously is a much more larger house. And so we just need to find that it's not more detrimental to the neighborhood. Again, there's no one on the other side of the street there that would impact their view. It obviously will change the view for people on the other side of the lake potentially looking at it. And they wouldn't have been potentially notified because they'd be far enough away. But that seems to be the nature of what's happening around Lake Wequacket now. How's
my only concern is excuse me for interrupting, but at Kitty Corner there is a property. When you look at Google Earth, you do see some property that would be slightly past the driveway of the pre-existing structure.
Going out onto the island, 143 there.
Well, again, what number is this one? 137, 135,
129, right?
129. Yes.
So it's going to be an even number because it's across the street.
Oh, sorry. Yep. Okay. So 106. But their view corridor is really out into, I don't know, is that Burst Pond? What is that? Or
That
just,
is Lake Quacket.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the property map. I'm looking more from Google Earth perspective. Again, forgive me that it may not be a 100% accurate view, and I can certainly go to property map and look at. That I don't see it. But again, a substantially larger house will potentially obstruct view from, and vice versa. That looks like a pretty substantial house across the way there too. Again, it's not directly across the lot, but looking at it from Google Earth, it certainly shows a pretty big structure.
Yeah. Any other board members' thoughts? I mean, again, that's pretty much all we're sort of ruling on here is
Yeah, in terms of
deciding.
a neighborhood and detrimental to the neighborhood, I don't foresee that's um probably a factor at this point. It's not ununique to what's happening, as you said, Jake, around the lake there. So,
Yeah. And I mean, at least with the one you were referencing, they would have gotten a butters notice. I get, with like even like with the DCPC stuff, I get concerned of someone that wouldn't be in a butters area, but it affects them, when you have something very large becomes in their view.
I
And so we
agree.
don't get to hear their input per se.
Yep, I always have to lean on a butters, and even with the DCPC thing, that was going to be my point. Is that, again, it's not always about a butters per se, but those closest to us never respond either. So it's hard to imagine there's a whole lot of angst about view until it goes up, of course, and then they,
Yeah.
then they want to come back and beat up the ZBA. But regardless, I don't think in this case it's applicable. So I'm certainly in favor of this, and I would. Real quickly, I would certainly volunteer to read the report, but my internet connection is unstable. So if I get a pass this week or hearing, I promise to read next month in person.
Great.
Herb, that
We'll
might
give
put
a
it on
couple.
you because I already did the affordable apartment meeting before this. So
Promise.
That's Herb's time.
Herb, you're up, young man.
All right, so we need to close. If there's no more sort of deliberation or questions, any other board members, anything? I'll close the public hearing. All right,
Second.
make a motion to close the public hearing. Herb,
Second, Paul.
Herb,
In favor.
Paul Bernard,
In favor.
Aaron Webb,
In favor.
Larry Hurwitz,
In favor.
and I'm also in favor. So public hearing's closed, and now we can make findings.
Okay. Lena and Edward Lukatsky have applied for a special permit pursuant to Section 240, 291H3, developed lot protection, demolition and rebuilding on non-conforming lots. The applicants propose to demolish the existing 1.5-story single-family dwelling and replace it with a 2.5-story two-bedroom dwelling on a similar footprint. The existing and proposed dwellings do not meet the front yard setback requirement, 30 feet, but the proposed front yard setback will remain 17.1 feet. The subject property is located at 129 Hayes Road, Centerville, Mass, as shown on Assessor's Map 210 as parcel 095. It is located in the Residence D1, RD1 zoning district and the Resource Protection Overlay District, RPOD, continued from March. Oh, that doesn't, but it was continued. I will make the following findings from the staff report dated February 27th, 2026. One, the applicant falls within a category specifically accepted in the ordinance for a grant of special permit. Section 24091H allows for the demolition and rebuilding of a residence on a non-conforming lot. Two, site plan review is not required for single-family residential dwellings. Three, after an evaluation of all of the evidence presented, the proposal fulfills the spirit and intent of the zoning ordinance and would not represent a substantial detriment to the public good or the neighborhood affected. Further, section 24091H H3 requires the board to find that if the proposed demolition and rebuilding cannot satisfy the criteria established in H1 as of right, then the board may allow the demolition and rebuilding by special permit, provided the board finds that 4, proposed yard setbacks must be equal to or greater than the yard setbacks of the existing building. The proposed front yard setback remains at 17.1 feet, and the side yard and rear yard setbacks will remain the same and complies with the required 10 feet. 5, proposed lot coverage shall not exceed 20% or the existing lot coverage, whichever is greater. The proposed lot coverage is 13.6%, which is less than the maximum. Okay, 6, the floor area ratio shall not exceed 0.3 or 30% of the existing floor area ratio of the structure being demolished, whichever is greater. The existing FAR is 10% and the proposed FAR is 27.4%, which does not exceed the threshold. 7, the building height in feet shall not exceed 30 feet to the highest plate and shall contain no more than 2.5 stories. The proposed height of the proposed dwelling is 20.5 feet. I guess that's the number we were looking for. But in either case, the overall height is 30 feet, which is, going to be higher than the highest plate regardless. 8, the proposed new dwelling would not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing dwelling. Those are my findings.
Thank you, Herb. Yeah, I would just add, in the finding of it not being more detrimental, substantially more detrimental, it is substantially larger, but we feel that it falls within the nature of what's happening in the area of size and scale and falls within all the other requirements of the special permit. Do we have a second?
Yeah, it's Paul, second.
Roll call vote on the findings. Herb Bodenseek,
In favor.
Paul Pinard,
In favor.
Aaron Webb,
In favor.
Larry Hurwitz,
I'm in favor.
and I'm also in favor. And then Herb, conditions.
Conditions 1 through 6, have you had a chance to review those, Attorney Revere?
Yes, I have, and they're acceptable.
Okay, I would move that we accept the special permit 2026-005 with the 6 conditions on the staff report.
Staff report dated February 27th, 2026. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Herb Bodenseek,
In favor.
Paul Pinard,
In favor.
Aaron Webb,
In favor.
Larry Hurwitz,
In favor.
and I am also in favor.
So, Chairman
Revere,
Judy,
you have
before,
your special permit.
no, Chairman Dewey,
Yep.
with respect to the attorney, we've been through this before. Have we approved the overall? Have we had a vote to approve the overall approval of this?
Anna, do we need to take another vote? I defer to you on the process.
That's the way it shows up on the.
Yes, please.
Okay.
So, okay. I would vote to grant the appeal subject to the conditions and findings. All in favor? Or do
All
we
right, so
second that?
Herb's made a motion to approve appeal number 2026-005 as discussed. Second?
I approve. Second.
All right, roll call vote. Herb Bodenseek,
In favor.
Paul Pinard,
In favor.
Aaron Webb,
Favor.
Larry Hurwitz,
In favor.
and I'm also in favor. So you are double voted, signed, sealed, approved.
Thank you very much, members of the board, on behalf of the Lukaskis. Have a good evening.
Thank you too. All right, correspondence. We had 31626. We received Great Neck Road North WCT subcommittee agenda. On 31926, we received the Great Neck Road continued hearing notice. On 33126, the Provincetown Pier Hotel subcommittee agenda. On 41626, we received a Provincetown Pier Hotel continued hearing notice. On 31926, we received a Cape Cod Commission meeting agenda, and then we received a revised Cape Cod Commission agenda for Thursday, March 19th, 2026 at 3 p.m. Any matters not anticipated? One thing I will just bring up so that this new zoning review subcommittee. I don't know what the actual true name is. We have met twice now. The first items that are going to be worked on are home-based businesses or home occupation, the home occupation ordinance, and the commercial parking ordinance particularly in residential zones, as well as we're going to start looking at the sign ordinance stuff a little bit. There's a bunch of council members on the board and the chair of the planning board and myself. And Councilor Ludke, who's our liaison, who's here tonight, is the chair of the subcommittee. And that was the decision of what to work on first. But I would encourage any of our members to bring forward anything you think that should be looked at and considered. Always, even bring it up at the end of a meeting, like something like the DCPC tonight, like, hey, does that something that needs to be looked at and just reviewed? Is it still relevant? Are there parts of it that aren't relevant? Or are there things that we don't understand that need to be rewritten and clarified better? So just keep that in mind as we just go through any of these things along the way.
When do you meet Jake?
Um, we meet once a month. The last meeting was like the 19th of March, and I think the next it's sometime in April. I think it's the off week of our meetings usually because we fall on council meetings.
How
Um,
about
so
um, how about the pool conversation that we've talked about
it was
multiple times?
on the menu of choices. It wasn't at the top of the list, but it's on the list.
Good.
Jake,
Hopefully-
Jake, are those in person or are they virtual or both?
They are both. I've been hybrid. But there are people at town hall for it in the James Crocker meeting room.
Yeah, well, I didn't mean to, as just one board member, saddle you with extra duty. I was going to volunteer for it, but I'm not there for 3 months, so I don't know how effective that would be in representing the board.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, there may be things that I owning property in the downtown, or I have one short-term rental, may have to recuse myself, and so I may ask the chair if she would like to have another board member step in that would be able to sit on it if we come to some of those items. So I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Okay.
Chair,
So
I have a question.
Yep.
Going back to the 40B hearing that we've had, one of the things that I heard come out of it was a request for a traffic study is by us or by the town. Has anything gone forward on that? And what is your opinion? Is it needed?
Anna, you haven't received anything yet from them, right?
Correct.
I believe we're anticipating some revised plans from the conversations I've had with staff.
I am
Hopefully the next
anticipating,
week.
yep, I'm anticipating revised plans that will be submitted a week prior to the hearing of April 8th.
So we're going to have another hearing in April, assuming the revised plans come in prior to then.
Yes.
If they come in at the last minute, we're going to need more time to review.
Yes.
But the plan is that there will be maybe some of those items in there. But again, we can ask for that. And they may have heard us and heard the public at the last meeting and may have already done that or come back with a plan to accommodate some of that.
Mhm.
I just wanted to note the transferring of hair from Aaron's head to Jake's beard.
This was solely by accident, Paul. I gotta be honest. I received the worst haircut today I've ever had and decided to just finish off the job. So I am now this is how I look. Fortunately, my hair grows quick, so I'm
Okay,
thankful.
well, I second that motion.
Thank you.
All right, so upcoming April 8th, 26 in person, that will have the 40B, and then April 22nd, 26 remote, May 13th, 26 in person. Anything we need to know, Anna, coming up that we should anticipate?
No, I think we're all set.
All right,
Okay,
I
Anna,
will make a motion
I
to
will
adjourn.
not be available for the April 8th.
Okay. And Paul, you're not sitting on the 40B, are you? No.
No.
Okay. I don't know how many other things are on the agenda for then, Ann. Is there a lot beyond that?
No, that's it.
Okay.
That's the only thing. Yep.
Okay. And you'll update us if they are, in that case, if they are not going to have their revised plans in time.
I will let you know.
Okay. All right. I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Herb Bodenseek,
In favor.
Paul Pinard,
In favor.
Aaron Webb,
In favor.
Larry Hurwitz,
In favor.
and I'm also in favor. We are adjourned.